What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today, it's over. It's over. It's all over. I'm just joking. The series is not over, man. I'm having a lot of fun with this series, but it has been a lot of heartache and pain in this series, man. Conference Championship week looks like this. The Broncos fall to the Ravens. The Vikings fall to the Rams. So it is a rematch of last year's Super Bowl, the Ravens versus the Rams, with the same result. The Ravens beating the Rams in the Super Bowl. Yes, the Rams lost back-to-back. The Ravens have won back-to-back. When's the last time we had a Super Bowl rematch? Was it Cowboys-Bills? Has it really been that long, right? And I mean like back-to-back years. Obviously, we had Patriots-Rams twice, Patriots-Eagles twice, but you know what I mean. Anyways, let's go ahead. Dick Vermeil retires. Marvin Lewis retires. Hugh Douglas. Hugh. He's going to be our new defensive coordinator. Good defensive rating, good for D tackles, and his chemistry was fairly high as well, which I'm looking at. Brett Favre, are you actually going to do your job to earn your money, or are you just going to pretend? My goodness. We're going to go after Kubiak. Greg Kubiak. Is it Greg? I think it's Greg, right? Greg Kubiak. We can go after Kubiak. 82 overall, 80 overall for the quarterback, and decent chemistry as well. It's a bidding war for him, but we would just spend all of our money because we have a decent pile of cash, over $100 million. So we definitely want to keep the pot high, but we're definitely going to upgrade our stadium. There's not too many people that we need to re-sign, so our pockets are going to be fairly laced. The bag is going to be quite heavy that we have in the account. Might not get a new bag, but the bag that we already have is pretty decent, if you ask me. So upgrading the stadium, just want to get that fan support up a little bit higher, make sure that people like coming to Raymond James Stadium. Kevin Mawai is hanging it up, so is my boy Lawyer Malloy. Brian Dawkins, what up, family? Derek Mason calling it a career as well. Terrell Owens, he is gone. That sucks. His career is going to be without a Lombardi, even in the virtual world. Zach Thomas, Jamie Sharper, Lance Schulters, Jeff Posey, Fred Taylor, Corey Dillon. These guys are all retiring. Did we lose anybody? Yes. Rondé Barber is going to call it a career. I kind of felt like he would this season, and he has. Couldn't get him a second ring. That sucks. But moving forward, David Carr, he wants to get traded. I know it's going to make a lot of y'all happy because y'all like, good, now you can't go to him. And yes, I apologize. I felt like, as we signed our restricted free agents, we signed everybody. Nichols, a left guard Nichols, Schultz, and then Bradley, we all re-signed them. What I was going to say is that, yeah, look at I knew there was a problem as Bass wants to hold out, so I'm going to trade him for a third-round pick. I knew it was a problem leaving David Carr in when he threw the pass to the flat, and it was backwards, and it was a fumble. And I was like, okay, now that Busey is healthy, is David Carr reverting back to who he truly is? And I think that was the case. But I made my decision. I'm like, I'm riding with my decision, and I should have changed it back up because Busey is our guy. And there you have it. So Carr is now happy in this situation in Washington. We get a second and third round pick for him. We traded Bass for a third round pick, the first third round pick, because the Bears had the first pick in the draft. And Eubanks, he wants to go, so go, bro, go. Now, losing Eubanks will suck because right now he's our best D tackle, and Booger McFarland's probably closer to retirement than he was in the years past. But we do get a first round pick, pick number 2 from the Texans, and we get the second pick in the third round from Houston. So we have we get the first 2 picks in the third round. The first 2. That's a good look, man. We have 10 draft picks overall. So Ratliff is going to go. Beck is going to go as well. I mean, I don't like spending time looking for kickers and punters. So Bidwell, you're still a good punter. Come on back. Come on back. Spears, I'm going to let go. Cook, I wanted to have back because Beck is gone. He was our fullback playing tight end. But I want like a real fullback because I really want to ground and pound and then throw it to a select few receivers. Kind of this old school football, tough football, just, you know, maybe not so glamorous, but winning football. Derek Anderson wants to come back. Come on back. 2-year deal for you. Mason wants to come back. I'm going to give you a 4-year deal for you. And then Harris, you can come back. 4-year deal for you. I want to keep my O-line intact. They're very good. So when it comes to our first pick in the draft, yes, Byron Carrier, 83 overall D tackle, 80 tackle, 93 strength, 85 acceleration. That's a good look. Our second pick, second round, pick number 8 is Mark Webster, 80 overall with 82 catch, 92 speed, and he's a good kick returner because last year we did not have any good kick returners, and the kick returner that we were using was awfully slow. So, yeah. I mean, Ratliff wasn't the slowest guy in the world, but he just wasn't that good at it. So, we're going to have Mark Webster back there. We also did draft another cornerback that's pretty good at returning kicks. Not this guy, Doug Wooden. He's going to replace Rondé Barber, and maybe we might even look to have him replace Cleveland, who got beat a few times last year. He was only a rookie. I don't want to be too hard on him, but we got to win football. Akeem Green, yes, a fullback. We'll pick number 1 in the 3rd round. I want a fullback, so we got a fullback. Danny Jackson, another D tackle, 74 overall, 77 strikes, 77 tackle. Johnny Forrest, 77 overall, or John Forrest, 77 overall, pick number 8 in the 3rd round. Got a bunch of 3rd round picks, and you can hit on 3rd round picks. And then our original 3rd round pick, a tight end, James Crane. So Woody James and James Crane could be solid. He's 80 overall with 85 speed at tight end. And that's the one thing I missed about Watson was his speed. Not saying that Woody James is slow, but Benjamin Watson was just really, really fast. Sims, he could play kick returner for us as well. He's going to be our cornerback, probably 4th or 5th string. And then last pick of the draft for us, pick number 22 in the 6th round, Jimmy Douglas. Let's move on to free agency. Greg Jones, fullback. He's signed with the Buccaneers. Steve Smith is going to stay in the division, but this time with the Saints. I want him to be a Buc. He said no. And then we got this backup quarterback who's better than Derek Anderson, and I felt like we need a backup quarterback that hopefully doesn't cost us too much money. And we have a bunch of cap space. We just really didn't have too many holes. A lot of guys are still on like their rookie deals and so on and so forth. Edgerrin James going to play with those Lions. Then you got Cook, the ex-Buck, playing for the Chargers. Anthony playing for the Cardinals. Pickett playing for the Browns, and so on and so forth. Dat Wynn is an Eagle. Michael Clayton is now a Cowboy. Zimmerman is a Chief. So on and so forth. Chavis is a Detroit Lion. Billy Volek, whose best game I believe as a Titan was versus the Raiders, is now going to be playing for the Raiders. Will Demps, I believe he was already a Ram and he's going back to the Rams, but they let him test free agency, but they ultimately re-signed him. Lake Johnson going to be playing for the Colts. Liddell Betts is still out there, which is kind of interesting. Chester Taylor got signed by the Chiefs. Falk, a receiver, he got signed by the Giants. Teo Johnson is a Cardinal. Amon Green is a Packer. And J.J. Forrest is a Packer. So we got Kozlowski doing the running back drill. And it's for one reason only. He has 99 overall catching, and like his speed is maxed out. Like there's nothing that receiving drill can do for him. So let's work on some other aspects of his repertoire. Woody James, he's going to get this hand action because your tight ends usually come in not catching the football that well. And 73 overall catching is bumped up to 76 overall catching. Schultz, I'm going to have him do the linebacker drill. Could have used Harrison here, but I really like Harrison the way that he's at. I think Schultz could become a better tackler. So that's what we're going to try to focus on with the tackling drill. You see his awareness is 77, tackle 70. And I was like, no, let's just bump up his awareness. He's a coverage guy. Let's make sure he doesn't get beat. And then Wooden, with this speed, I'm like, maybe he could overtake Cleveland. Cleveland's speed is below 90. It is a high 80. But I want my cornerbacks to have 90-plus speed, and he has that. So I was like, you know what, let's just work on his coverage skills. Could work on catching, but let's work on the acceleration so he never, ever gets beat. And then Houston coming through with gold. Houston is that guy. I bumped up his acceleration even more. He's a big fella, but he's a speed guy. So just take away all that girth because he's a speed guy. And me and Busey, we talked, and he's forgiven me. So hopefully you guys have forgiven me too. Yeah, because looking back on it, I probably should have played him. I did think leave him out because you can bring I believe in 06, you can bring guys back in even if they're hurt before they're all the way healed. I didn't want to do that because usually they aren't as good. But when he got healthy after the first half was over, I probably should have played him. Anyway, Steelers to kick off the season, then Browns, Ravens, Panthers, Falcons, Rams, a bye for week 7. Then we take on the Saints, the Niners, the Giants, the Bengals, the Falcons, the Cards, the Seahawks, the Saints, the Lions, and finish up versus those Carolina Panthers. So yeah. So I stopped recording and I got some news. And I'm going to drop that news probably tomorrow. I'm going to hit you guys with the first game of the season versus the Steelers tomorrow. And I'm going to show you what had happened with our roster. And yes, it's bad news. But that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope that the rest of your day is the best of your day. Peace, love. Hot sauce.